It's 10 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a regular Commissioners Court meeting for County of Starr, Monday, June 11th. Let the record show that we do have quorum, Commissioner Sines being absent. And I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you all for being here. If y'all would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did we have any minutes?
No, respectfully, Commissioner, minutes.
Okay. Is there a motion to table minutes?
I second it, Honor.
Moved in second, all in fair please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is claims. Mr. Carter, are those in order?
Yes, sir, the claims have been reviewed and they're all in order, Judge.
Motion to move, Your Honor. I second, Your Honor.
Moved in second to approve. Discussion. All in fair please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Before we start with our reports, we do have some people for a presentation. Operation Lone Star, Ms. Garza, Silvia Garza. Okay.
Good morning, County
Good morning.
Judge,
Morning.
Commissioners. With me is Tony Moreno, he's our fire chief. I came to update you on Operation Lone Star. We're in the planning stages. I brought you information. It'll be the week of July 23rd through the 27th. We would really like to see you come and visit, and of course have your support in helping us with your personnel, put up flyers and give out. I know Commissioner Garza's, your presence already helping us. But I really wanted to address myself to Commissioner Sines. He's not in today, so he can help us in the San Isidro area.
Okay.
So that's what we're here for. I did bring you some flyers and banners. You have them with you.
This will be at the same place?
Yes, sir, at the Magnet Elementary. Yes.
Well, we try to do on my behalf as much as we can to help you guys and make sure that people are aware of what's
Thank you.
going on.
Did you want to say something?
I think Operation Lone Star has always been very successful, and we thank you for your efforts and the work that you do. I know a lot of our people, it's probably the only time they get any medical services is during Operation Lone Star, so we will try and do our very best to make it known to everyone that the services are here. I know Ms. Fuentes does a very good job as far as.
And if you could come and visit us, Judge.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Sylvia, one thing, are they gonna bring the dental department too?
No, sir, we only have preventive dental care. It's for elementary through high school.
Because we had at one time dental care.
Well, we need to request it. They're called RAS. They're the remote area doctors. The county has to request it. But with that, it's a big thing. We have to provide food and lodging for all of them. And
I know at one time, we had some of the local dentists go out there and serve some of our people. I don't know if that would be feasible.
Because, it's incredible how many people did dental work, the people that really need, because it's so expensive. A lot of people, out there that, even though the insurance don't cover them, very little, in some of none of it, And, it's a shame to see young people, men and women, without any teeth, at the age of 40, 30-some, that are missing teeth because they can't get care, and have a tooth replaced, and some of them, even, I know for a fact, I've had the experience that you have a toothache and you go, especially the people that go to Mexico, well, there's nothing wrong with tooth, and they just pull it out because it's hurting. The problem is not the tooth, it's you have a bacteria in your gum and everything, If you would take care of that, you wouldn't lose your teeth,
I can reach out to our dentist as soon as I get to the office and see if they want to come on board. But with that, they have to bring their own examining tables, they have to bring their own dental assistant and their own things, and, well, it's not
Yeah, yeah.
hard.
Well, it might not be feasible for them, but certainly it doesn't hurt to
I
ask
can
them.
ask, yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you all very much.
We're going to take a picture with all the commissioners and research. And then we need to promote them before we, so you can come and also. So do you want to take Get a little bit closer, Commissioner.
Muévelas. La mangueada. Cambia la pina, está bien bajito. Hola.
I'm gonna take a couple.
Wait.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll leave
¿La quieres cambiar ya?
Sí, cambiar.
¿La quieres cambiar?
Iba a decir,
Ahí la lavandera.
Es que queda de peanut para high share.
sí, es que me lo había cambiado.
¿Pone pino con novela?
Vas a
Ahí le
ver.
ordenas unas almohaditas, por ejemplo. Nomás que la remolineen para atrás.
Okay. Anyone else that needs to come before the court at this time? Before we start with our reports? If not, we'll go down our agenda. Gas Department, Mr. Mr. Alvarez.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My report is in your package, but I'd like to point out several things. I usually make my report short, except this one is including some audit evaluations from Railroad Commission, and I just want to make sure that we're on the same page on a couple of things that you are aware of. On my report, the first page, it kind of explains everything that I've done or that's inside. So I'll skip that. I'm pretty sure you went over that. I hope. It just references to what I have done, what I have sent Railroad Commission, my answers to them on the 6 citations that they gave us. And the next part of the package is this one where it says response addressed to Stephanie Whitman. That's one that I'd like to go over with you. In my 10 years here, I've learned that you don't question Railroad Commission very much. You just accept what they tell you, because they'll be back next year. But in this report, and I usually give you all the report on the audits, but on this report, I found it exceptionally kind of critical of us, without really having to be. There were 6 violations, as they call them, and I'll go down the line. Number 1, PS 81. It's a report that tells the Railroad Commission how much pipe we have in storage. It's a very simple report. And what happened with that report was that it's supposed to be done online, and for some reason our online was not working that day. So we have the option of sending it by mail. And we have the certified copy of it being sent on March 15th by mail. Well, they cited us for it, but they did have it over there. It wasn't online, but they had the report on their hands. Why they cited us, I don't know. But like I said, I wasn't going to question them. We explained that to them, and we gave them the certified delivery dates and all that. Anyway, there's 2 item number 1s, because that pertains to a certain part of the evaluation. or of the audit. And then there's item number 1 again with a different evaluation number, 222. Now, item number 1 addresses school pipe testing, and that really, school pipe testing is not our responsibility. The school does that. They had their normal guy that does this retired, and they sent the person to replace him, sent him to get certified, and he didn't pass. So they came back and they didn't tell us that he hadn't passed until it was due for them to turn in the report. At that time, my option was to cut the school off because they hadn't turned the report off. Being the person that I am, and being that the school is kind of one of our better customers, I wasn't going to turn them off. So we took that hit on the school piping test. At the very last second, because I asked for a 30-day extension, at the very last second, the school got their man certified, got somebody on board, not one of the school employees, somebody else contracted on board. And they did their testing and they passed it, and we've sent it out to a railroad commission. So that part is taken care of. They're in compliance now. Item number two, it's a report, an inspection report of regulators. Regulators and valves are contracted out to GASTI, and we do that for this reason right here. What happened with them today? Sometimes the staff will be lax on checking all these items, but with somebody from out of town on the contract at a very reasonable price, this part of the system is never lacking. GASTI is very good about checking our valves, checking our regulators. For some reason, the auditors didn't either see the report of station regulators, and they're only citing us for two, number 2 and number 4. We have like 21 of them. So I don't know how they picked just 2 that we weren't expecting. But the reports are there. GASTI reports are there. So I send those to the Railroad Commission. Item number 3, it's the same thing, except on valves. And they were saying that we didn't have the whole year 2017 in there. I went ahead and sent 2016 and 2017 because it's got to be done every year. So we met the criteria. Again, I knew it was there. I didn't know that they were going to, that's why I don't give you all a report until it's official. I didn't know that they were going to cite us on that. So I had to send them a whole package to the Railroad Commission about that big to cover our reports. It cost us a pretty penny to mail it. Anyway, we got that off track, and we weren't in violation of that. Number 4 is the only one that I really thought was we should have been cited correctly. We use a odorizer machine to smell test, sniff test the whole system. We have certain stations where we have to make sure that it smells like gas, and we test them every year. The tests were there, the paperwork was there, except the calibration report. We hadn't calibrated that thing. I had never done it, and I had been here 10 years. So officially, I guess that was the one thing that we should have been cited for. The machine has been sent off. By the way, that machine cost $5,000 to $6,000. So we take very good care of it. It has been sent off to calibration, and it should be delivered sometime this month. It should come back sometime this month. So we already sent Railroad Commission the package that was sent off and the certification that it was sent off, so that we should meet the requirements. Item number 5 is a citation that was purposely done on my part because of what I'm going to go into. We were supposed to, back in 2010, we were mandated by the state legislature to start converting our pipelines and steel first and then PVC to poly, the new pipe material. we had left, purposely, we had left the creek at 3167 and the creek on Highway 83 on stripes because they need to be bored. And knowing what our financial situation, I kept putting it in the back burner and putting it in the back burner. We didn't have, the pipe was not covered correctly with tape, so it won't be corroded. So we got cited for that. But I had already talked to Reina about this. My proposition was going to be, and I'll go into the next report, because that's the second evaluation, the second audit that we had, and that is what they call DIMP audit. It's an integrity program which refers to what I was trying to do with that last piece of pipe. That last piece of steel pipe was going to be replaced as soon as this audit came, because I knew they would cite us for it. But then, because of the bore cost, and the cost, Reina asked me to look into the cost of it, it's around $20,000 with materials and all, give or take. That brings us to the third part of the report, and that's the one that I really was interested in telling you all this. We got audited on this, and we had never gotten audited on this phase of the gas system. This is where they're telling us how much pipe we have to replace by year. At the beginning, it was 13% of our system. 13% every year had to be done. We didn't keep up with it. And smartly, or I don't know, just somebody was looking down at us. We didn't keep up also with their way of seeing us if we were replaced it or not. They had an online documentation that was covered by Railroad Commission for $495 a year. We eventually paid the entry fee, and then after that, we didn't keep up with it. Well, we weren't reporting, and they weren't inspecting us, so it kind of never got checked. We got a free ride there for about 8 or 9 years. However, this year they came to audit us, and this is what they brought forth, this plan for us to do. Well, they didn't cite us for not reporting the past 8 years, mainly because it's kind of like their fault too. They hadn't audited us, so we weren't like at a catch-22 with them. So we got away with it. But what I want you to look at is on this third part is, and the reason I'm bringing this up today, although I haven't gotten the official audit report on this one, I thought it was the proper time to bring this report up because you all are going into budget. And this is one of those things the state does every now and then. They tell us something to do, and they don't give us the money to do it with. And consequently, this new plan calls for us to change. It started with the 2 steel lines, which we ended the report with the last report with. And but now they added, instead of 13%, they broke it down. I guess they figured that we didn't know what 13% was. So they put it down to us, they gave it to us in feet. We're supposed to replace 7,500 feet or 1.5 miles a year. Most of these lines that need to be replaced are in town. Most of this 1.5 mile per year is in town. This is going to be costly, gentlemen. There's lines to be looked at. There's water lines, sewer lines, fiber optics. It's going to cost, and there's going to be a lot of patchwork going to be having to be done. Besides the 1.5 miles per year, they're also asking us to do 35 PVC connections. They're not long. The 10-foot connections from the service line to the meter is not a long piece of line. But the problem with those is that you have to go into breaking the concrete, or then there's some concrete or pavement, and that's where the price is going to be jacked up. Reina had asked me to see what I could find in price so that you all can have a picture of this thing, but really we can't. because I don't know what's underground. Either we have to hire an engineer or just risk it and go out on bids and tell somebody to, do this 1.5 miles and take the risk. They have to call 811 and all that, but to get a precise bid or number on it, I think it's an engineer's problem or work. That's kind of the second page on that, 10.2. On the very bottom, it kind of numerizes what we have to do. It goes back to the steel pipe, which we have to do by December. They even gave us deadlines on this. The steel pipe has to be replaced by December 2018, December 31st, 2018. The 1.5 miles have to be done by May 1st. Well, it should begin May 1st, 2018. But since they're going to check us every 2 years, that's another thing. They're telling us, we're not going to tell you what day, but you will be audited every 2 years from now on.
I do have a question on those 1.5 miles. Are they specifying where exactly we have to do those 1.5 miles? Or could we go on to the easy part and then hit inside the town like Rio?
I've done the easy part.
Yeah, that's done with, all right. So we gotta come
Yes,
inside.
we did Embassy Road because we knew the area and there's very little stuff but there. Now they've got some. We did it before the school opened up. We've done some from Stripes to Suntex Road, which is the farthest part of our area. We've done that because there's very little, only fiber optic
What's left
was.
is what's inside here.
What's left is in town.
Okay.
What's left is the expensive part.
I guess, Mr. Alvarez, we're gonna need a ballpark figure. It doesn't have to be an exact for budgeting. Take an average of how much it costs when you have to break concrete, an average of how much it costs when you have to break paving, and then, I guess we can sit down and
Pick
go
the
over.
7,500 feet where you think is most necessary, and then figure out what you gotta break and everything from there.
Yeah, so we can come up
The
with
first-
a number, for budget.
Yeah, target the area where we don't have to jump around. O sea, one main side or something.
I can probably do that. It's just that when it comes down to I know what you're asking, so that you can budget something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes down to the actual bidding,
Yeah.
it's gonna be rough for some bidders to go out really not knowing the specifics or what's underground.
Yeah,
But
once you all determine what areas you want to do, then I guess, like you mentioned, we probably have to bring on an engineer, and they go out there, and they'll do the survey as to what's needed, and they can give the contractor a more detailed job description so that they can get a decent bid. If not, they're going to bid way high.
the
We don't have the manpower to do it in
No.
Forest County.
No, we tried that, Commissioner, at the very beginning, and we thought we could do it, and it's impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, we need
The-
the
the
study
boy-
in order, the survey in order to know, so that whoever's gonna come and bid, we know what they're bidding exactly
Yeah.
based on our criteria.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so they're not
that's-
gonna bid out there in the blue moon and we're over here in the red.
Right, and that also kind of puts me in the corner here, because if you're considering or taking into consideration the figure that I'm giving you, and this guy's, if I'm saying $20,000 and this guys are saying 120, it's like, oh, what did you do,
It's a
Chema?
huge gap.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be that far off, but, we'll put it on the engineers. And as far as doing it with our personnel, we don't have the luxury of having extra people.
We don't.
So those same people,
Specialists.
I'm sorry?
The specialist man.
Yeah, and those people need to go and read meters, they have to, all this stuff, so it takes forever to get anything done.
When the city started paving their streets in downtown area, we took the opportunity, and I told the judge, I said, we can do it in-house. What I did was, we crossed as many lines as we could underground, so as not to have to break their new paving. So we've got those crossings, and our in-house boys did it. But we were in a mess, and even at that time, our volume loss, it's just skyrocketed, because we couldn't keep up with the leaks. We couldn't keep up with the leaks, and we couldn't keep up with the reader meeting and everything. The crew is sufficient for what the system needs to be maintained, but not to do the extra work.
Is there any other county that has had this problem?
Every county does.
Okay, well, maybe we can investigate another county that's, well, you're saying every county has had this, right? Okay, we can investigate or call another county, see who they hired, who they got their survey from, and then we can take it from there. So it can make it a lot easier for you guys.
Yeah, every system, every gas system is
Has.
required to go through
By
this.
Railroad Commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a state mandate.
So we can probably call Hidalgo County, see who they hired, and then
Anybody.
we can get a research. All right.
Okay.
Any
Thank
other
you.
question? Thank you, Mr. Alvarez.
Thank you.
Transfer station. Gonzalez.
Good morning, Judge,
Good
Commissioner.
morning.
This is a copy of my financial report. The only thing I wanted to add to that is that I had informed you about the problem we're having with the pavement, the transfer station. And we kind of isolate one of the problems that's breaking up the pavement, of course, is the tractor trailer being so heavy. The other thing is that because of the terrain of the transfer station, there's a lot of rocks coming onto the pavement. And the tractor stepping up, driving on top of it is breaking up the pavement. So we had been watching it with a pressure washer, but at the same token, at the same time, the pressure washer is pinpointing in smaller areas and it's breaking up the pavement also. So we looking at means we can get a broom attachment for the skid load or something, so we can start sweeping instead of pressure washing. It's gonna help a little bit better.
Probably the same thing, Mr. Gonzalez, as the gas system. We're gonna have to come up with prices to repave both ways, asphalt or cement.
Of course, sir, and not just the pavement for the tractor trailer, we also need to resurface the transfer station floor itself.
I remember you said that.
Because now you can also see the rebars already on that.
Yeah.
There are areas, not the whole part of it, but areas. So it is a two-layer concrete surface for the transfer station, so the top part needs to be resurfaced, re-cemented, re-concrete.
What we can probably do is, where we have the most heaviest traffic, we can add cement. It's a lot
Yeah.
better than pavement.
We were recommended on especially on the turn area where
It's a heavy use area, it's
Yeah.
been there
Yeah.
quite several years now, so.
Cement would probably be better than pavement, but we need to know on the prices.
Yeah, and like I said, probably a broom attachment for the skid loader will help maintain it better and kind of avoid more deterioration of it.
Would you think it's cost effective to buy an attachment or buy a little broom?
We have the skid loader. We're already trying to get info on the
Attachment.
attachment.
Okay, go ahead and investigate on the price of a broom, so see how much the price is, and if it's a lot less, we can just buy the broom instead of buying
Yes,
the
sir.
attachment. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. A whole broom. The thing is, we saw some, and they're around 20,000, and the attachment is around 60,000.
But you're talking new,
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
what
no,
am-
the one we saw was a used one, 2000.
but don't buy the one with a vacuum, just buy the broom.
Mhm.
Okay, those are a lot cheaper.
I think the attachment would be cheaper, being that we already have the skid loader. But
Yeah.
even at that, trying to come up with a means of purchasing it is kind of, we're trying to see what.
Well,
we can
budget's
do.
coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did want to inform you guys that that's one of the
Pretty tight, too.
things, the solution, and hopefully we can get, some quotes on the pavement and putting concrete or pavement on some of the areas, and we can have a better idea how much we're looking at.
Mr. Gonzalez, let me ask you something. I met Mr. Hernandez, Patricia Hernandez, the other day, Patricia Ruiz Welding. Did you ever ask or went out on bids for the hauling?
It had been mentioned, and I think County Attorney was gonna come up with it.
Mr. Canales was given that task to help us with that new
With the bidding
contract,
process?
and we're still waiting for that. Mr. Canales? Remember
¿Por qué no
when,
sabe?
no, but you were gonna send me the language and, yes. You had told us in court that day.
Dale, Luis.
No, you were supposed to,
The contract, I remember we entered into the contract.
and you were gonna send me the language, you said.
No, then the following week, we rescinded the contract. And
Right,
were to go
and
out
you were
bids.
supposed to send me the language to go out for bids. I think you texted it to me. I'll show it to you.
Okay. We'll follow up on that.
Okay, something else, on the, because he's got problem with, and everybody, we got some problem with those tires. Mr. Hernandez, I think he went out there looking for availability to building something for himself to cut the tires. He tells me that the tires does not have to be cut in four pieces. He says only in two. He said he's been talking to the guy up in Edinburgh. He assures me that it has to be cut only in two pieces.
No, but that's
Are
like-
you aware with that?
No, I have not been aware of that information. Mr. Hernandez has not provided me that information. I mean, that really, that
Yeah,
helps us
and my
in
concern
manpower
is-
and use. I mean,
Yeah, of course. My concern is, I got the mines that cuts it in four, but the truck tires, if we don't have to cut them in four, it would make it a lot easier for us just to cut it in two.
Well, I'll contact Mr. Hernandez because like I said, he has
And
not
he
provided
assures me that. I said, well, I don't know, but I'll ask. And he said, I'm telling you. So, I mean, you might want to give the guy a call, the one's in charge up there.
We'll call the,
And all
Edinburgh.
tires have to be only cut in two pieces, so it'll save some time.
What we were doing is only following TCQ recommendation, but if the landfill accepts it like that, I mean, it's better for us.
That's
That
fine.
make
If I were
less
you, I'd
work
check it
and-
out.
And we can move faster with that. But I
Because,
will contact Mr. Hernandez first and then the Edinburgh line.
because I'm trying to, right now, and this guy's working, trying to figure out something to pull the wires out of the truck tires with the same equipment I got right now. We tried it one, but it worked, but it bended the 1 inch.
There's a machine, excuse me, Commissioner, there's a machine that is sold solely for that purpose. And I don't know if Mr. Yervil can look at it, it's on YouTube, a video with it, that he can replicate it or do something like that.
We already tried one, to use it with the same one that we got presently. We just switch the hoses, and it worked, but it bended the hook that we had. We're trying to see what we can do to avoid for that hook to be bent to those things, and it's a lot easier to cut them off.
¿No lo pueden hacer de cero?
¿Eh?
De acero, no,
But we're trying, pero pues también.
Tres llantas, me con la siguiente.
Any more questions?
But if I were you, I'll check on that, check
Definitely,
with,
as soon as I can.
Give me a
I'm gonna
holler.
call them. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rosette. Tax assessor, Ms. Salina.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. You have my report in front of you. My report for the month of May. The total county water collections for May is 2018 were 750,520. In May 2017, there were 701,200. There was a total collections of 14,200 more than last year. Year to date, we have collected 2,386,000 more than last year. Our total current collections for the 4 counties entities are 205,100. Collections for 2017 and May were 195,600. There was a total current collections of 90,400 more than last year. Year to date, we have collected 1,230,000 more than last year. Our total delinquent collections for May 2018, just for Starr County, were 250,900. Total delinquent collections in May of 2017 were 254,200. There was a total delinquent collections of 3,200 less than last year. Year to date, we have collected 168,700 more than last year. We have collected 102% of our projected current tax collections in 2018 fiscal year. Projected collections remaining are $0. This percentage is including $539,699 that were collected as a result of supplements accounts received after taxable certification. Without counting supplements, we have collected $12,731,400, which is equivalent to 98% of our projected collections. Projected collections remaining without the supplements are $350,839. The projected collections in the budget are $13,047,303.
Any questions, comments?
Any questions?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
County Clerk.
I move that we table it.
Moved and second to table. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Sheriff's Department. Captain.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Total projected revenues for May 2018 are $236,438. This is $9,189 more than last month. Last month was $227,249, and this is a $91,061 more than this time last year. Total federal inmate count for June the 5th was 145, and state inmates are 99 for a total count of 244. Monthly average federal inmates are 145.
Okay, that count is just that one day.
Correct.
It's,
So the average for the month was 145.
okay,
So it's the same as June the 5th was 145.
right. Well, that's very good.
Thank you, Judge.
Any questions, comments?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Captain. International Bridge.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This is the total revenue for the month of May 2018. It's $236,459 with 50 cents. We show an increase of $7,274 with 50 cents for the month of May 2018 compared to the month of May 2017. We also show an increase of $15,443.50 on collections for the month of May 2018 compared to the month of April 2018. We have other collections of $699.48, and the grand total collections for May 2018 is $237,158 with 98 cents. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Treasurer.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is the monthly treasurer's report for the end of April. The general fund had $2.6 million. This is $2 million more than at the same time last year. The road and bridge fund had $854,000, being $211,000 less than at the same time last year. The total amount of cash in bank and investment accounts in the custody of the county treasurer as of the end of this period covered by this report is $14.5 million. This overall amount is $2.6 million more than at the same time last year. We continue to monitor our depository accounts to ensure their safety. We have notified the Starr County Auditor's Office of possible abuse of county assets. We are confident that the county auditor will take the statutory required actions on this matter. Combined debt for Starr County was $4.3 million, being $1.3 million more than at the same time last year. The county amounts in deposits were well collateralized at 1.119%. This pledge level is 19% above the LGC Chapter 2257.022 requirements and 14% above our contract terms with Lone Star National Bank. The 2018 budget includes the borrowing of a new $1 million tax anticipation note. The borrowing of a new $1 million note is pending state approval. It is also necessary to report that if the state does not approve this new note, then the county will have to lower the 2018 budget an additional $1 million. This pre-borrowing process may take 45 to 90 days, and since the county started this year with a negative fund balance in its operating fund, it is important to take action to prevent another Starr County budget shutdown. Thank you.
Ma'am, did I hear you right? You said that we had 26 million less than last year?
Yes, I believe so.
How can that be? That's what I heard. I might be wrong, but,
2.6
More.
more.
no, but you said it less.
No, I said more. This overall amount is $2.6 million more than at the same time last year.
Yeah.
It's in the report.
So, how much the total deaths that we have? How much is the total combined debt?
It was 4.3 million, being 1.3 million more than at the same time last year.
More this year than last year?
Mhm.
That is not correct.
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct.
Hmm?
That's not correct.
It doesn't sound right to me, but,
You know, I didn't want to say anything because, you know how this goes, but
but that's all right.
it's
Okay.
1 million, he's adding $1 million of a supposedly loan amount that he had that we've never borrowed a penny on. That's part of that 4 million. Then he's got, what is it, about $2 million or $2.7 million of the, what's it called, Mr. Carter, help me. It's the money that we have in INS that could be paid. Okay, so that in itself takes away over $3 million, 3 point something. The only debt that we really have is what we owe the city of Roma on the bridge. But that is something that has been going on at least 20 years that I've been here. At one time, the city of Roma owed the county,
Yeah.
and they paid us little by little until they paid us off. Then when the instability started in Mexico, you know, my duty as a budget officer is to be as conservative as I can, you know, because if I budget more than is there, then we have a problem meeting, we budget more than we have. So when I go conservative, then, and people continue to cross, that means more money comes in than I budgeted. So now we owe the city of Roma. Following year, same thing, the instability is still there. Anyhow, make a long story short, we owe city of Roma to the tune of about $1 million. That's really all the debt that the county has. And it's really not debt, it's something that's been going on the books back and forth. So where he gets that $4 million, he's still just trying to make the county look as bad as he can, but the county has absolutely no debt other than that, and it's really not debt. And I'm sorry, but any other question, comment? Mr. Carter, Auditor.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Good morning.
My report for the month of ending May 31st, 2018, shows that the general fund ended the month with a cash balance of $1,976,628. The road and bridge fund ended the month with a cash balance of $426,627. And the payroll clearing ended the month with a cash balance of $766,202. Starting at the bottom of page 1 is a summary of the expenditure report for the period ending May 31st, 2018. The general fund expenditure report is summarized with a percent expended of 68.35%, and that's compared to the percent of year elapsed at 66.6%. So we're 2/3 through the year, and the general fund is within about 2% of the ratio of percent expended. Within that general fund are the following departments. The county judge's department has expended 59.19% of its budget. The county clerk, over on page 2, the county clerk has expended 71.1%. The human resources department has expended 67.98%. The planning department has expended 59.66%. The federal and state programs department has expended 67.1%. The countywide general fund has expended 72.14%, and that department is higher than the year-to-date percent of year elapsed because of the big loan payment that we did back in February or March. The contract for 911 services has expended 63.2%. The county court at law has expended 64.7%. There are some unrecorded expenses in that department, which we're going to correct later in the meeting with our budget amendments. So those will be those expenditures will be funded within the next 30-day cycle. The 229th District Court has expended 63.83%. The 381st District Court has expended 62.5% at the top of page 3. The District Clerk's Department has expended 64.69%. The County Attorney is at 78.05%. The District Attorney is at 59.97%. The County Auditor is at 61.61%. The County Treasurer is at 68.67%. The Tax Assessor Collector is at 61.41%. The Building Maintenance Department is at 60.86%. The Detention Center is at 60.79%. At the top of page 4, the Juvenile Detention Center is at 64.8%. The Sheriff's Department is at 66.3%. The Agricultural Extension Service is at 65.47%. The nutrition programs of all 4 precincts combined are at 69.3%. The Elections Administrator is at 76.04%. Roman numeral 3 at the bottom of page 4 is a summary of the Road and Bridge Fund expenditure report. The consolidated Road and Bridge Fund, which includes all 4 precincts and the countywide, is at 64.78%. Within the consolidated numbers are each individual precinct. Precinct number 1 has expended 67.32% of its budget. Precinct number 2 has expended 66.75%. At the top of page 5, precinct number 3 has expended 72.06%. Precinct number 4 has expended 61.68%. And the countywide Road and Bridge Fund, which is mainly utilities, has expended 55.49% of its budget. For each of the 3 enterprise funds, the International Bridge has expended 42.38% of its budget. The gas operating system has expended 55.23%, and the solid waste transfer station has expended 61.34% of its budget. At the top of page 6 begins a summary of the revenue report through the period, year-to-date, through the year-to-date period ending May 31st, 2018. Current taxes received in the general fund are at 96.78%. Delinquent taxes are at 65.25%. The nutrition program grant is at 64.58%. The indigent defense grant is at 46.818%. The 911 services grant has received 26.81% of its funding. Fees of office collected are at 57.63% of the budgeted amount. Detention center revenue is at 65.76%. The state salary supplements are at 67.03%. The Department of Family Services is at 18.75%. The international bridge transfers from the international bridge to the general fund are at 21.43%. Gas system transfers are at 0. Transfer station transfers are at 0. The outside financing is at 0. We've not borrowed the $1 million that's in the budget. The Los Olmos watershed is at 80.21% because we transferred the funds remaining from that leftover project to the general fund. The building permits are at 103.14%. Election expense reimbursements are 100% received. The settlement agreement is 100%, actually 106.35%. The Rio Bravo tax abatement agreement, we received $80,000 last week. So the total general fund revenue is received is at 74.8% of the budgeted projected amount. In the Road and Bridge Fund, at the top of page 7, current taxes received are at 99.56% of the budgeted amount. Delinquent taxes are at 69.22%. Motor vehicle licenses are at 58.78%. Fines and forfeitures are at 43.05%. Vehicle overweight fees are at 52%. The total road and bridge fund is at 90.96%. In the international bridge, the revenue received from bridge tolls is at 62.06% of the year-to-date budgeted amount. The rent from UETA is at 58.33%. Rent from the port facility is at 64.3%. The international bridge also received $20,000 from the Los Olmos project, and the total international bridge revenue is at 62.32% year-to-date. At the bottom of page 7, the gas operating system, natural gas sales received year-to-date are at 70.89% of the budgeted amount. And at the top of page 8, the solid waste transfer station tipping fees received year-to-date are at 63.16% of the budgeted amount. In the middle of page 8 is a summary of the debt owed by Starr County. This hasn't changed much from last year. I think there was only one monthly payment made on the Texas Comptroller debt that we owe. The tax note series 2014A has a balance of $303,471. The Texas Comptroller has a balance of $12,819, and that's scheduled to be paid off within the next 2 months. The 2004 certificate of obligation has a balance of $1,066,228. The equipment loan owed to KS State Bank has a balance of $797,595. And the loan owed to revenue markets for the international bridge equipment has a balance of $119,469, making a total outstanding debt as of May 31st was $2,299,582.
If I may interrupt you there, Mr. Carter, for just 1 second. Going back to the question that Commissioner Garza asked about the 4 million or whatever it was, this is a number. It's 2.3. However, of this 2.3, 1 million is what's INS. Well, it's over $1 million. 800,000 is the equipment that was bought.
Right, but that, it's not actually a debt because it was in the budget.
It's a lease
we paid every
purchase.
year.
Yeah. So if you reduce all that, we're down to
Well,
maybe
yeah.
$1 million.
I'm sorry, Judge, what's not listed here is the debt owed to the city of Roma.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, the city of
In
Roma.
future months, I'm gonna start including that in this report.
Yeah,
I
the city of
didn't include
Roma-
that line item in this report because the debt that we owe the city of Roma goes back to a lawsuit that was settled in 1969. And the terms of that settlement agreement, or rather, the calculation is numerically a little complicated. We've made budget amendments to increase our payments on that, so the debt is not getting any bigger this year.
Right.
And hopefully, next year, we'll start paying down on that principal sum.
Yeah.
But we stopped it from growing. It's
Yeah.
not,
And I got with Sam on that last week, Mr. Carter, I'm sure.
yes, we
he
had a
told-
meeting
he
about
told you
that last week and
Yeah.
talked about it.
And I'm increasing it even more
Yes.
this go-round, because we do need to pay
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start including that on future
Okay.
reports so we can monitor that more closely. Okay. Below that, at the bottom of page 8, shows an available balance in the interest and sinking fund of 541,000. Oh, I'm sorry. That's revenues and expenses in the interest and sinking fund. And then, let me see here. I thought I had okay.
Mr. Carter, what,
I lost my place there.
quick question on item number 7. And I do realize that at some point, we're gonna have to return some of that money to our taxpayers from the INS, once it's all paid. What is your suggestion that we return it? We cannot reduce the taxes and say this is a payback. It's gotta be, I don't know how to do that.
Judge,
I guess we can discuss that
yeah,
later.
based on my limited experience as a county auditor, I've never faced that question before. I will have to do some research and develop
I'm at lost also, I don't know how to
see
do
what
that.
other counties do. I don't know how
Okay.
that situation is handled. I'd have to seek expert advice on that question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. At the bottom of page 8, Roman numeral 7, the interest and sinking fund has a balance of $1,409,336. So there is a surplus of $343,108 above the amount owed on that certificate of obligation 2004 that it's dedicated for. At the top of page 9, I'm reporting that the county court at law has 8 invoices for ad litem attorney fees totaling $3,700. And later in the meeting, there's a budget amendment proposed to help correct that problem. We're going to get that taken care of. And then below that, on page 9 and the top of page 10 is a summary of all of the additional revenue that has been certified by the county auditor's office this fiscal year. There's several different line items there. The detention center, there was $358,826. certified in January. There was, from the Los Olmos project, there was $170,000 that was certified in February. And then also there was another $37,000 that was certified later. In April, there was $337,647 certified to the general fund from the wind farm tax payment, of which $296,000 was allocated to the loan payment, and $41,647 was dedicated to the, allocated to the detention center. Also, in April, there was $149,366 from the wind farm tax that was certified to the road and bridge fund. And then $40,000 that was certified to the crime prevention forfeiture fund. And there was a $140,000 settlement payment that was certified in April. And that was allocated $60,000 to the 229th District Court and $45,300 to the 381st District Court. There was another $138,690 payment from a lawsuit settlement that was certified in April and allocated $155,752 to the detention center and $1,000 to the adult probation department. And then last month, I certified $112,000 in the district attorney forfeiture fund. Whoa. A lot of numbers there, gentlemen.
Mr. Carter, now that we're looking at that settlement numbers, I noticed as I've been starting on the budget, that Duke Energy has not paid their 250 pilot program?
Yes,
250,000 has not been paid?
that's correct. Well,
Hasn't come in? No.
that's the, they're on page 9, the ones that are labeled settlement, there's a payment for $140,000.
Yeah, but the settlement,
That was the last one.
yeah, that was a lawsuit. That was something else. They were supposed to give us two payments of 160 each.
Okay.
But the 250,000, that is payment in lieu of taxes. It's a pilot program.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
before
from
any-
Duke Energy, no,
That,
was
that's
not.
every year. Okay, I'll make some calls.
That's right.
They've not been paid yet.
It wasn't, like I said, when I was looking at the budget right now, it didn't show that it had been paid, so.
So they haven't paid for 2
You
years.
want to ask Rose?
Well, yeah, I need to get with Rose. Yeah, if anything, it's 1 year that they haven't paid.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Hoy están mañosos esos dos.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Oh, Mr. Carter, one other question. Commissioner Peña brought it to my attention, on the,
Rio Bravo.
on Rio Bravo, in the revenue side, in the general, you have $80,000 allocated to general from Rio Bravo, but there's another 80,000 that should have been allocated to road and bridge. It's not there.
Well, if it's not there, that's a topographical error, Judge. I meant
Okay.
to show that.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct. There is another $80,000 that will be allocated to the road and bridge fund per that agreement. My mistake.
That's all right. So we'll make sure that it came in.
Yes, sir, it did.
Okay. Thank you very much. Item 7, it's to approve the new vendor list. Mr. Carter, is that, the vendor list, is that okay, Mr. Carter?
Yes, the vendors, the proposed new vendors have all been reviewed. The documentation is all in order, Judge.
I do so move,
I second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8 is possible action to approve certification of revenues. Mr. Carter?
Yes. Here's the answer to your previous question. Per Chapter 111.0108 of the Local Government Code, special budget for revenue received after start of the fiscal year, upon certification of the receipt of such revenue by the county auditor, the Commissioners Court shall by amendment appropriate these funds into the county budget. In the middle of the page, the second next paragraph down, accordingly, this is to certify that per the tax abatement agreement with Rio Bravo Wind Power LLC, additional funds in the amount of $80,000 are available in the Starr County General Fund demand deposit accounts, and these funds are available for disbursement, but were not included in the Starr County budget adopted for this fiscal year. And the last paragraph on that page, per the tax abatement agreement, additional funds in the amount of $80,000 are available in the Starr County Road and Bridge Fund demand deposit account, and these funds are available for disbursement, but were not included in the Starr County adopted budget for this fiscal year. Therefore, it's requested that this revenue be certified for both the general fund and the road and bridge fund.
I move that we approve the certification of revenue.
I second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9 is an action item. This is to approve a donation from EcoSite in the amount of $1,000 to Precinct 4. Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 is an action item requesting bidder at, this is, I believe we discussed it at the last meeting, where people that go and bid for foreclosure properties, that they must have their current taxes paid up to date. In other words, if someone owes taxes, they cannot go bid on some other property, they haven't even paid theirs. Ms. Salinas, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
You know, I think that they should present a tax certificate that
Yes,
you get a tax
that's what it
certificate,
says.
proving that the tax has been paid before they start bidding on it.
According to section 34001 of the property tax code, it states that any bidder should be registered at the tax assessor's office for that purpose.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but he needs to present a tax certificate
Tax certificate with his.
that he has paid all his taxes.
I guess what we would need to add, Mr. Canales, if you could shed some light on that they must be registered at your office maybe 2 or 3 days before the auction, so that you have time to research their taxes and make sure that they're paid.
I think also, Judge Commissioners, what it would be essentially making it contingent on their not having any overdue taxes to be able to actually win in the bidding, to certify their winning in the bidding. If they are not, then it would allow us to go to the next qualified bidder on something like that.
Okay, the thing is that I think they shouldn't even bid if they haven't paid, because a lot of times the second bidder, you don't get their info because they didn't get it.
Well, I think everybody will have to be registered at that point.
Okay.
And then I think it'll become incumbent upon on our attorneys that do the tax sales, or the sheriff's office that does the tax sale, to keep track of that, the top two, whoever they are, and they must be registered. I agree with you, Judge, that they must be registered. I think we can update that on a yearly basis.
I think
They can be registered, but they need to show proof. Go out there the day they're gonna bid and tell the tax collector, here's my tax certificate. I don't know a penny before he even starts bidding. He can be registered, but if he still
He
owes
cannot owe
taxes.
Well, I think you can't, I think the idea is you can't be registered unless you are clear with taxes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, but if the delinquent tax attorney does not know, that you can be registered, be cleared or register the prior sale, But you still owe taxes
How do we word it?
I'm really at loss because, you know, if we ask for a tax certificate, I go to you and I say, I want a tax certificate on my house. You give me a tax certificate, doesn't necessarily mean that I've paid all my other taxes. How can we get tax certificates on everything?
We need to,
Property taxes and check to see if you are delinquent in any of them.
Okay, but I guess instead of a tax certificate, we will need an affidavit from your office saying that all taxes are paid, not tax certificates, because I could get one for the house and the ranch and everything else I haven't paid.
well, Judge, I think that to get a certificate, you need to have the whole amount
No.
clear. You cannot just get it for one.
No, you can get it for one piece of property.
If you have five properties, Commissioner, you can get a tax certificate on 2 that you paid everything off, but still be delinquent on 3 other ones.
Right.
It would be essentially an affidavit of clearance.
Yeah.
From the,
Puede darte certificate de lo que debe menos y
So,
y lo demás se paga.
how we gonna word this, Mr. President?
Can we pass a motion and authorize you all to work on something? So-
I think the best way to pass the motion, Judge, would be to authorize the registration of all bidders for delinquent taxes to be registered and cleared by the tax office
Okay, do we put a time limit before the auction or?
within 3 days, Judge.
3
working
days. Okay.
Before the auction?
Yeah, to give you all time to work on it. Okay.
And authorize us to further the language as well. Make modifications
Okay.
pursuant to law.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to authorize Ms. Salinas and Mr. Canales to come up with a language to make sure that all bidders on foreclosure properties are paid up to date on all their properties. Is there a motion?
I do the motion.
I second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11 is an action item, and this is to allow new dealers to register via dealer portal. Ms. Salinas, what's that about?
Yes,
Oh.
Bird Auckland has 13 dealers that wants to register in our county from now on. They're asking for approval to access the web dealer so they can get the vehicles registered in Starr County. So the revenue that comes with the registering of vehicles will stay in Starr County. Registering, they can get their title and registration done quicker rather than waiting for the other county to do it for them, or any other county. It will make a good impact on Starr County because all the registration will be bringing in money to Starr County. For example, when Bird Ogden would go to register in Hidalgo, all the titles and registration fees will get paid there. Instead of our county where the vehicles were supposed to be registered in. So now if they get access to all these fees, it will be coming in to Starr County.
What about, Ms. Salinas, if, let's say, Paint Motor or Real Motor? Yeah, if they want to do spikes, anyone else, can they do it? And that would take load off your office.
Oh, well.
No, but she's talking about dealers outside the county. For
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
spikes.
But can it be done in-house so that they don't have to be bringing all those in?
They'll do it in their county, in their offices, but they'll need a special or different bank account so they can deposit all the fees that's gonna go to our county. So they're 13 dealers. I
Okay.
don't know if you have in your packages the
Yes.
names of the dealers.
Yeah, but Commissioner Peña brings up an interesting point. What about like spikes or some of the others?
When they come and register here, you know, because according to, I had to wait 2 months by the time my truck was registered, and apparently they had to bring all the paperwork here to Starr County.
Exactly. They'll be
but-
registering and they'll be doing their work in their offices, but the paperwork will be sent to our office so we can clear it out and send it out.
So in other words, if they sell a car in, let's say, for example, Bird Ogden and McAllen, okay?
Right.
They're gonna do all the paperwork and then they're gonna mail you the paperwork so you can
Right.
register it, but they're
No,
gonna pay.
No, it's already been registered. We need to verify that everything is correct before we send it out.
Okay, so they're not gonna register out there. They have to bring in their papers to us. So they're gonna
Yes.
make a drive down here to Starr
Exactly.
County and register their
They
vehicle?
have to bring us all the documentation and deposit in a special bank account, the fees that requires for the registration.
Well, that's what they're doing right now, no?
They're
right now-
asking us for these 13 dealers.
What?
So that means they're asking, Bert Ogden is asking us to approve these 13 dealers that wants to come, or bring the revenue to Starr County. If it was done, they wouldn't be asking for any.
The thing is this,
authorization.
whenever you purchase
These are
a
new.
car, let's say for example in Bird Ogden and McAllen, okay? They have to register it there within their offices, and then they're gonna send you the information about your truck.
No, I mean, it took me more than 2 months, and they told me that the paperwork was brought to Starr County, and that I could pick up my license plate here, and I had to come and pick them up here. But I had to, they don't register them out there, they bring in the paperwork here.
But they're gonna register now, and they're gonna bring us the paperwork over here to be approved over here, and then we can send it out.
But, I mean, they cannot register there at their office, they got to bring it to
They
you.
have the web dealer.
Huh?
They have the web dealer.
That's
That's where
what I'm
they,
saying, where were they registering it before?
Hidalgo,
Hidalgo,
Hidalgo
they were
County.
doing it in Hidalgo.
And then they would send you the plates through mail, and you would put them out. That's how I did, they did mine.
Tuve que ir a buscar a un basurero para casar que pero buenos días.
These are all dealers that were dealing in Hidalgo. They wanna deal with Starr County now. Is that answers your
Well, like I
question?
said, I mean,
I
I had to
think-
pick up mine here because they said they brought it
I
here.
think it would be best if we authorize you to any other dealership out of McAllen or Hidalgo County or Cameron County to go ahead and you make the authorization. I don't know,
Okay.
can we do that, Mr. Canales?
Yes, the way you worded it, Commissioner, we include, including the ones that she's proposing and any other.
Okay, because we cannot only allow Bird Ogden, we have to give a break to everybody that wants to do this.
Well, it's under them. The
Yeah,
13
Bird
dealers are-
Ogden is their main franchise, I
Right.
understand, but you also have Spikes, you also have Bogus,
Clark.
you also have Clark, all them. I
Do you
mean,
have the list of the dealers?
Sí, but Bird Ogden
sí,
is the
pero
one
Bird
that
Ogden has their own
initiated
dealers.
Well,
this
yeah.
movement.
Por eso lo que
They're
te estoy
asking us to do it, to
So
approve
you're
it.
trying to tell me that anybody from any dealership from out of McAllen can come and register vehicles here in Starr County that have an address up in Hidalgo?
No, the addresses have to be local. They have to live in Starr County in order for them to register in Starr
I
County.
mean, was that from- I don't
Am I correct,
understand.
Mr. Canales?
No, I don't understand how it's going because they have to be registered here anyway.
No, they register in Hidalgo and then they'll send you the place to
No,
mail,
no,
but they're gonna register in Hidalgo to a Starr County resident.
I move that we approve
I
the
don't
dealers
think-
on the list and all others to be able
Amar,
to
Luis,
register.
Miguel Alemán, todo. I'll second the
Ay,
motion.
ay,
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 12 is also an action item, and this is to approve a resolution for the Area Agency on Aging and Nutrition. Mari?
That is correct, Judge. We are applying for AAA for nutrition and demand response services.
I move that we approve the resolution. Your Honor.
I second, Your Honor.
Moved in second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 is also to approve a budget for 2017-18 on the CDBG grant 72-17-440.
I do so, Your Honor.
I second, Your Honor.
Moved in second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14 is to approve a memorandum of understanding between Starr County and EPN.
Make a motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second motion.
Moved in second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15 through 25 are budget amendments. Mr. Carter, are they in order?
Yes, Your Honor, these budget amendments have all been reviewed very carefully, and they're all in order.
Motion to approve budget amendments, Your Honor.
Second motion.
Moved in second. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And it is 11:25, and pursuant to section 551.074, And 551.072, we will go into executive session to discuss order of salaries and possible action on Los Morenos project. It's 12:30, and so we're back in open session. Under order of salaries, is there a motion to approve?
I don't know why.
Second motion.
Moved in second, all in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item 27 was more information, or do, I think it was just informational. Yeah, we'll,
No action.
no action needed on 27. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.